All right, hello, and good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic, because in today's video, what we're going to be talking about to invest my Yieldmax dividends. Now, as I'm sure you guys are all very aware, I earn about $230 every single month from dividends, with about $102, as you can see here, coming from the Yieldmax funds. I own 4 shares of Coney, 22 shares of SQY, and about 100 shares of TSOY. And what I'd like to do with these dividends, as I'm sure you guys have your dividends as well, I am probably not going to be reinvesting my dividends back into the Yieldmax funds. And the reason being is I just see a little bit too much depreciation in the funds currently for me to reinvest. And so what I'm planning to do, and I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but what I'm planning to do and what you could potentially do for yourself is take your high yielding, high income earning Yieldmax dividends and potentially put them into long-term funds. So what I have today is I have 5 long-term funds which pay more or less much smaller dividend yields than the current Yieldmax dividend yields, coming in at like 95%. But these are long-term stable dividends. And from the beginning, what my investing strategy was for Yieldmax was to potentially build up a sizable position in monthly income and then redistribute that across some amazing paying dividend funds. And you know what? I feel like we've created a sizable income every single month. And so that is what I'd like to start potentially doing. Now, obviously, before we get into this video, what I do want to say, as my screen goes black here, but I'm continuing to roll on, we are a channel that does review a lot of the Yieldmax ETFs, and we do a lot with them. So if you guys are obviously interested in that, I will continue to keep you guys updated on everything with them, but I'll be looking to make some more long-term, more stable dividend videos as well, as I have hundreds and hundreds of dividend stocks that I could potentially share with you guys, and any that you guys want me to review, you can list them down below in the comments. But without further ado, I want to say we're up to 3,971 subscribers, getting very close to that 4,000 subscriber marker. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has currently subscribed, but let's get into this video. So every single month, we earn about $230 from dividends. Now, about 102 comes from that. We have some from MPW, but we also have some from CLIP, which comes in at the end of the month. And guys, I kind of need your help here. I'm in a bit of a pickle. Currently, I invest with CIBC. But the thing is, with CIBC, I pay $6, just to put up here, $6.95 per trade. And you know what? When you're investing about $100, $200 at a time, that could potentially really eat into your returns. And so I'm looking for a new broker which pays some zero commissions. And I actually do live in Canada. So if you guys live in Canada, have any brokers that you guys want to recommend, please do remember to comment down below. I appreciate any kind of help with that. But that is just a little side note. Now we're going to get into this. So where am I looking to put my dividends? These are 5 stocks I could potentially put them in, and you could potentially put them in as well if you're interested. The reason being is because they all pay dividends, or go ex-dividend, pardon me, very close to the current date. So today is January 23rd, but a lot of these funds go ex-dividend in, let's say, February or the end of January, or early to mid-February. And so that's why I wanted to choose these 5 stocks for you. The first one being Starbucks. Starbucks really needs no introduction. They are a coffee shop, obviously branded across the US and Canada as well. And they actually just recently increased their dividends. See, this is one thing that's pretty fantastic, I can say, is that with these funds, you can expect consistent income. Obviously, with Yieldmax, you get a much greater return on the percentage. But with these ones, you could take your amazing income yielding assets and really put them into something long-term like Starbucks, for example, which does go ex-dividend on close to a date like February 9th. It could be February 10th, 11th. But about this date, you could potentially invest into Starbucks and receive a pretty small but consistent paying and growing dividend, as you could tell. Now, the next company we're going to check out is a $200 billion company. It's called SHEL. Obviously, you guys understand what SHEL is. It is a gas company. The reason I'm showing you as well is because they also go ex-dividend very close to today's date. And as you can see here, February 16th. So we're talking mid-February here. And you can see here, which is actually pretty cool about SHEL, is they increased their dividend. It looked like every 2 quarters, every 2 quarters. So you could see here, they increased their dividend from 57.5 cents to about 66.2 cents. Now you could potentially invest into SHEL now, and that dividend could be potentially boosted or I guess increased on the next dividend payment. Obviously, I'm not sure about that. We'll know closer to February 16th, but this is another company that you could take your current January Yieldmax dividends and invest them into for long-term growth, potentially in your dividends and stock appreciation. Now, the next company we're going to look at is Kroger. Kroger, obviously a grocer, about $33 billion here. You can see the market cap. It is a stock that has appreciated for a very long time, paid dividends since 1962, as you can see here. And it's a company that's pretty much increased their dividends for a very, very long time. Obviously, I could go back years and years. You can see here, going back 10 years, still increasing its dividend. Another company that you could potentially put your dividends into. This one goes ex-dividend on February 14th. And it looks like it had a dividend increase about 2 quarters ago. So we can't really expect one for another 2 quarters, but that's one that you can invest in February and receive that dividend. The next one being Prudent Financial. Prudent Financial, I actually didn't know much about this company. They're a roughly $38 billion market cap, about a 5% dividend or so, 4.79. And what they do is they actually not only do investments, but they also do insurance. So they are in the insurance industry. It said here on their page that they managed about $1.4 trillion worth of assets, which I understand, okay, $1.4 trillion is a decent amount, but that's obviously accumulated over a great length of time. You can see here over 50 million customers. I would hope that they are recurring customers. Now, I don't know too much about them. I'd have to look more, but judging off of kind of their balance sheet and everything, they look pretty good. They are a decently big company. And in terms of their dividend, they have actually increased their dividend. Same thing. All these companies increase their dividends over time, which is great to see. And it looks like the next dividend could potentially be an increase, as we've seen an increase in every 4 quarters, and we have yet to see one soon. So that could be coming for the February dividend, and that'll be February 17th roughly is when they are expected to pay this dividend, and I think it's going to be an increase, so something to watch out for. Now, the very last and final stock is Enterprise Products Partners. EPD is a ticker symbol with a 7.5% dividend. Obviously, nothing like the Yieldmax dividends, but a long-term dividend nonetheless. A $60 billion company which has increased its dividend for a very long time, which is interesting to see, obviously. And you can see here that they actually will go ex-dividend pretty soon. January 30th is their next expected date to release an ex-dividend date on, and as we can see here, could potentially have an increased dividend. It looks like they like to increase their dividends every 2 quarters, and judging that we've had the same dividend for the past 2 quarters, we could potentially be seeing an increase in that too. So these were 5 different companies. I understand they're not the huge Yieldmax funds, but I still find them really fun to invest in, as we could still see our money kind of compound and grow over time. Obviously, you'd have to invest a lot more money in order to see the income that we see from the Yieldmax funds, but I wanted to show you guys these 5 funds because they're long-term, they're strong investments, they're investments that have increased their dividends over time, which will only increase your monthly income over time. And so that is why I wanted to show you them with the ex-dividend dates coming up soon. If you guys did enjoy this video, I do want to say to please remember to subscribe. We're up to 3,971 subscribers. I know it's different from the standard, but I really do like to review these funds. If you guys want, we can go into the financials of any kind of fund you guys want or long-term stock. I have pretty much over 100 stocks that I could potentially show you guys. So I have a lot to show in terms of this. If that does interest you, give this video a like and you will see more of this. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy, got a new perspective, and I will see you guys in the next one.